Hello there, and welcome to Underlords Universe. My name is Brian, and I'm usually joined by my brother, sometimes our bass player Josh, sometimes other friends and people that had on our show to discuss music, sometimes film, but usually it's basically the stuff that inspires us to continue to be creative in our own right. And today I'm doing a solo show just because I want to do a quick review of a band and an album by a band that is right out of our backyard, which is Des Moines, Iowa. And the band is Brainphase, and the album is called Paradox Vale. Now, couple things about that. First of all, I'd love to be able to hold up a physical product, but right now it's available only on streaming platforms, certainly on Spotify, YouTube. I looked on Bandcamp. I don't believe that they put it up on Bandcamp, but pretty much most of the standard streaming platforms you can find it. I don't know if it'll ever be available as a physical release, but I'm hoping. So another thing I should say before I go any further is Blake Erickson, the guitar player in the band. Um, he is a multi-instrumentalist, and he also runs his own recording studio, which is recorded in at Pineal Productions. Now, he also has done some work with us in the past. He had played some drums with us. We've written with him. So, full disclosure, I don't know if I'm 100% objective in reviewing Brainphase because of that connection. Having said that, I listened to the album for the first time when it came out a few months back. I've listened to it a few times on and off since then to get acquainted with it. And here are my thoughts. And honestly, if you're watching this and you're like, independent band, Brain Phase, Des Moines, Iowa, and you'd rather just cut me off right now and just go check it out, go do it. Otherwise, here are a few thoughts from me about this album. So, first of all, I would like to say that the album, in my opinion, uh, the word psychedelic came to mind, but not in a 60s psychedelic sort of way. It's just that there's a lot going on musically in every composition on here. Um, it's like a potpourri. It's not like a wall of sound kind of album, and that's to its credit because it allows a lot of the instrumentation um, to have its own clarity, especially if you're listening to this on headphones, which is my preferred way of listening to the album. I've listened to it in my car, I've listened to it at the gym, I've listened to it on headphones. I like it mostly on headphones. Okay, so a few things. The first track, it kind of starts with something called "Lifting the Veil," which is just an intro piece. I'm not gonna belabor too much about every track here, but just a few thoughts about them. The first track, excuse me, the first main song, which is track two, it's called "Antithesis." Pardon me while I reference my notes here. My handwriting is not the best, so I'm going to do my utmost to make this reasonably quick and digestible, as long as I can read my own handwriting. But my note for antithesis was psychedelic popcorn maker because there was just this kind of it's just like of sound. It's just like it comes kind of right out of the gate, that first full song after the intro piece. But yet it's contrasted really nicely with a catchy chorus that's got kind of a nice hook to it. It goes from there to a track called Black Rainbow, which also has a really nice chorus. Um, it's got organ underneath it, organ, not shreddy kind of John Lord, kind of Rick Wakeman type keyboard, but texture organ, which really goes to support the soundscape created by Blake Erickson on guitar. So like that as well. The next track, When the Mad King Sleeps, is really carried by a solid bass line. The bass work on this album is really nice. Tonally, it's very interesting. Sounds a bit from a rhythm perspective, almost like from the drum and bass perspective. You can kind of tell there's an inspiration from Tool here, but that is not. Don't get the sense that they're trying to sound like Tool. They don't sound like Tool. Okay, but just tonally, the bass kind of reminds me of Tool. It's a darker piece. This When the Mad King Sleeps is a darker piece. It's kind of a nice dark companion to the previous two tracks. The fifth track is called Caught in the Matrix. This is where, uh, how should I say this? Stylistically, it becomes a little less my thing because vocally there's a bit of more of a rap approach that comes in here, which Spencer, the vocalist, is exceedingly good at. So don't get me wrong. It's not that it's somehow subpar. It's actually really, really well done. Just not as much personally my thing. Um, but it's done in a very, I mean, it's really well done. It goes from there into a track called Fealty. My opening note here says begins with nice arpeggiated guitar piece. And it kind of turns into this part of the song with the chorus. Um, it's My note says brooding but hooky, and it's this kind of repeated chorus that revolves around a lyric, of cast you out. But like I said, it's kind of a brooding track. So check that one out. Goes from there into Chaos Theory, which is I believe they had released Chaos Theory as a single, and then apparently they had taken it down at one point before the album was released. And I wonder if it was just from a mixing standpoint, maybe they wanted to remix it or something. But I recall that being the first single, or it could have been that Blake just played it for me at his studio. I don't really remember exactly, but um, that was my recollection. And my note for Chaos Theory says that the verses are like nuts on and with the chorus being like a smooth, soft serve ice cream. So you get this contrast between kind of crunchy and kind of smooth. And I really liked that as well. The next track is called Origin. Really has nice bass work in that song as well. I really like the chorus in that one. Um, they're really good I think what was interesting about this to me is that the first time I listened to the album, just listened to it straight through, I thought, well, there's a lot to digest there. There things aren't really sticking immediately. But weirdly enough, like the next day, today, the melodies they just popping into my head. It's kind of like, oh yeah, where that melody, that's which song is that? Oh, that's this song, that's that song. It's there. You When you first put this album on, you might think that there's too much going on, but I promise you, there are hooks in every one of these songs. Um, the next track, Niscience, is how I think most people pronounce it, is again, very cool bass line that opens the track. It's got a really, really cool breakdown in it, centered around a lyric, "You don't know what you don't know," which is the title is basically another word for ignorance. So there's kind of interesting lyrics on the album as well. There's another piece that's just kind of a soundscape that goes from track 9 into track 11, which is the last track. It's called The Solution in the List. They put that out as like the first official single. That's still available as a single. It's an interesting choice as a single because it's it's a longer track. It's pushing 6 minutes, maybe five, yeah, almost 6 minutes. I think it's the second longest track on the album, so it's a longer piece. It takes about 3.5 minutes for it to like fully kick in. I kind of like that sort of stuff. I like music that you kind of have to commit to, that creates a mood, that takes you on a journey. This song does that. It's odd though to my ear. In that first 3.5 minutes, there's some moments in it that's just, it's like unsettling, and it's like, what are they playing there? That's really bizarre. Um, but it's like weirdly compelling, and I can only say that's what they're going for here. And I thought that was a bold move to say to their potential audience when they put out a song first before the full album. Here, check out this song. Unique song, definitely unique. Um, has again a bit of a Tool vibe rhythmically, but when I hear it, I don't think, oh my gosh, that's sounds like Tool. It's more of, just you can hear little bits of an influence there, perhaps. Um, After the 3.5 minute mark on that song, it really kind of kicks into a little bit more of a metal vibe. So a lot of different textures in that last song. Um, like I said, it's a lot going on. It's a lot to digest. I like albums like that. I think this album, Paradox Veil from Brainphase, speaks to the quality of um, the creative quality that independent artists and local musicians can offer. Um, it speaks to the engineering and production capabilities that exist in at the local and independent level. And to that point, obviously they're recording digitally. We record digitally as well. But that is not to say that this is AI produced. It's not to say that this was just done by a computer. These are human beings writing and recording music. And in an age where you can now enter commands into AI programs that can spit out songs, it's really nice and I think important to pay attention to people who are actually creating music because there's a certain kind of magic to that. When you get people together in a room and you're throwing around ideas and one person's idea gets built on by another, which is built on by another, and you have this collaborative process. And then the next thing you know, you've created something out of nothing. This thing, this song, this album didn't exist before these guys got together and created it. And now this thing exists and has a life of its own. So that's why I like uh, the performing arts. It's why I like creative people. And that's why I think that if you are still listening to me, still watching this, you should check out the album Paradox Veil by Brainphase. So, at any rate, and if you're so inclined, you can kind of check out links below for Underlord stuff as well. But this video is specifically dedicated to reviewing this album and to giving a little shout out to that band Brainphase from Des Moines, Iowa. So, like us, subscribe, etc. And yeah, more at another time. Toodles.